Mike's Daily Podcast.
Effizode 459. It's Sunday, January 3rd, 2013, 11 a.m. Pacific Time. Internet talk radio for your imagination. Mike Matthews broadcasting from the last place on Earth, located somewhere in PodCastro Valley, California. Today we hear from Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, the Brewmaster. Plus, we bring you part one of Into an Interview with an amazing guitar whiz by the name of Xander Demos.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And lately there has been an infection hitting people in the body organ they need most.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
That would be the stomach. There's a new strain of stomach infection that's spread throughout the world, and it's plaguing the United States. Since September, more than 140 outbreaks in the U.S. have been caused by the new strain of norovirus Sydney. They named it after my favorite author, Sidney Sheldon. No, not really. But the new strain has sickened people in Japan, Western Europe, and elsewhere.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Actually, it was named after the city of Sydney in Australia, because that's where it was identified last year.
Mike's
And a norovirus
Daily
is actually a Norwalk virus,
Podcast.
highly contagious and often spread in schools, nurseries, and cruise ships. The strain actually was attributed to an outbreak on the ship Queen Mary II during a Caribbean cruise recently. To prevent it, the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention says practice proper hand hygiene. You know, wash your hands with soap and water. So many people you see leave the public bathrooms without even washing their hands. Come on. And if that's not around, definitely use the alcohol-based hand sanitizer. But hot water and soap first. Practice preventative measures in the kitchen. You know, wash fruits and vegetables thoroughly. Cook oysters and other shellfish before eating. Don't prepare foods when you have an infection. And clean and disinfect contaminated surfaces. I do that. And I use a really simple device. It's called a blowtorch. Oh, look who just walked in.
Hi, Mike. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How y'all doing?
And it's a disgruntled fiddle player, tell you what.
What?
I really hate the Novo Nordisk exercise machine.
No, this is the norovirus, the Norwalk virus. It's different.
I hate both of them. I'll tell you what.
What?
That I hate both of them.
You're full of hate.
I'm full of something.
Mike, when we go to the restaurant, he is full of delicious chicken fried steak and gravy and biscuits.
Well, you know, that's something interesting about restaurants. I was actually eating just as healthy a meal the other night at a place that had chicken and waffles. Okay, so I'm eating chicken and waffles, and this woman comes in with an older lady, and she talks to the older lady. I noticed she's talking to the older lady like she would talk to a little kid. And I realized that adults talk to kids the same way they talk to their elders. It's weird in a restaurant. You know, they'll be like, hey, do you want to have some delicious pie? Do you want to have some fruit? Or that kind of thing. Actually, parents today are saying to their kids, do you want to have some chicken fingers? I always see parents giving their kids like the most horrible, unhealthy food. But who am I to talk? I was having chicken and waffles. Oh, so good.
Mike, I don't think you should judge.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, look who else just walked in.
Hello there, Mike. I make the root beer. I'm the brewmaster. Oh, boy.
Brewmaster, how did it go with all that root beer that you sent to Tina Fey for her farewell on 30 Rock?
Mike, it went really well. She sent over some guys from the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention.
Wow. Why?
They said I had Novo Nordisk virus in my root beer.
I knew there was a reason why I hated his root beer.
Mike, I'm going to go find some kids and feed them a bunch of chicken tenders. Bye, I'm an excellent food example because I want American kids to be fat.
Oh, boy. Well, if you have an opinion about the Norfolk virus or about the way we talk to our elders and kids in restaurants, or if our kids are eating really unhealthy in restaurants, email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. We'll read your comments on the section emails from email. Also email me if you'd like to be a guest on the show, or if you'd like to be a sponsor of the show and have me talk with my mouth about your product and or service, we have an availability for you, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. Also, check out the website, mikesdailypodcast.com. Go there to find our link to iTunes, where you can subscribe to the show and rate the show and comment about the show in iTunes, and more people find out about us if you do that. Also, you can find out where to find us on Facebook, Twitter, Yelp, and YouTube. You can Yelp about this show like you would a restaurant. And there's a link to that at mikesdailypodcast.com. Also, our michaelmatthews.podomatic.com website. We are on Podomatic, and apparently we got into the top 20 of news and politics podcasts. Yay, what a shock. What a shock that this is a news and politics podcast. But yes, so if you subscribe to us there as well, you can help us get more people to find out about us, so we'll get into the top 10, maybe even to the top 1. It'd be great. The link's there, mikesdailypodcast.com. And yes, we are also on knjoradio.com and on a radio station in Los Angeles called xrqk.com/Los Angeles. Those links as well at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Into an interview.
Hello, Xander Demos.
Welcome to Mike's Daily Podcast.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I'm Mike Matthews, and it's good to talk to you, and your music shreds.
Thanks, Mike.
It is awesome. It is so great to hear rock music, and your guitar playing is fantastic. And
thanks, Mike.
I'm talking to you, and you're in Pittsburgh, right?
Well, actually, I'm in Florida right now. I'm on vacation.
Oh, you're in Florida now. You're originally from there, right?
Yeah, I'm from Florida originally. I'm down here for a couple days. I went to the NAMM convention last week, over the weekend and stuff, and just did Vegas for a couple of days, and then and just came here, and wrapping it up and going back home on Saturday. And
I read in an interview that you come from an area that's Greek in Florida.
Yeah, I'm standing on it right now. It's an area called Tarpon Springs. It's a Greek community, and I'm here right now with my girlfriend.
And that's kind of near Tampa Bay, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about 25 miles from Tampa.
Oh, okay. And
yep.
I've been to Florida many times, but over in the Daytona Beach area, and that's right next to New Smyrna, Smyrna.
Right.
So,
yep.
And then I know in St. Augustine there's a special Greek Orthodox church up there that dates back many, many years, and so I know
right.
There's a neat Greek community in Florida.
Yes, yeah, there is.
So how did you get from Florida into becoming a rock god?
I'm not there yet, Mike. Come on.
Well, you're great. You're a fantastic guitar player. I mean, I am just blown away by your music.
Oh, thanks, dude. I really do appreciate that. I don't know how'd I get there. MTV started, I guess.
That's right.
MTV when they played music videos, really got me into music and stuff. And ever since then, I was in bands in the 80s and the 90s and all through the 2000s and stuff. And eventually, I think it was pretty much after the first time I attended the NAMM show in 2007 was when I started taking things a little bit more serious, and I wanted to get my music out there and stuff. So I think that's really, how it started, because a lot of people have even said, you're a new guy on the scene, but it sounds like you've been playing for a lot of years, and I definitely have been playing a lot of years, just never really done anything on, like on the original spectrum where I wanted to go out and push my own music, you know what I mean?
And what are NAMM shows like?
The NAMM shows? Well, it's really cool because basically, like, all these major music vendors, like Presonus and Roland, Ibanez, Tama, Sonar, just name all these companies, they all bring their products to market, and they bring their products for people to, check out, and, everybody there is like retailers and buyers, for like music stores and other vendors and stuff like that. And then they use the artists there to promote the products and stuff. So it's like a mixture of artists, vendors, and retailers and stuff like that. So it's like this, it's kind of a circus, but it's very cool though.
It sounds like kind of like when I walk into a Guitar Center or one of those, instrument shops, and there's guys picking up electric guitars and wailing away and people jamming all impromptu. Sounds like a really cool place.
It is kind of like that, except for the people jamming are mostly people that are like industry people, like they're artists, for that particular product. Like I was doing some demo work for Matrix amps and stuff like that. Last year I was doing strictly demo stuff for ISP Technology. So I was like their demo guy, just kind of sat there in the booth and played for 4 days and demoed their theta vector system and stuff like that, because I was using that live in the studio at the time. Things are a little bit different now, but that's pretty. So it is like a giant Guitar Center. It's kind of funny.
Xander, tell me, how many bands are you in?
Right now, I'm in 2. I'm in my own solo project called the Xander Demos Band, and then the other one I'm in is Sabbath Judas Sabbath with James Rivera from Hellstar.
Wow, so that's going to be a good show to see when you're doing either of those. Oh, it's windy. It sounds like you're inside of a rock music video right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to face away from the wind so you don't get nailed by the wind here.
It's windy in Florida today, huh?
It is. Yeah, it's kind of cold actually.
Now, I wanted to ask you about the fact that you perform at least 100 times a year. How do you do that?
Well, basically, it depends on the band. Like with the bands that I'm in, especially like last year and stuff like that, I was in cover bands and stuff, so I was out a lot more. So you figure cover band schedule was about 60 gigs a year. My solo band was probably about 20. The miscellaneous shows, getting up and playing with other people around, maybe another 20 times a year. So sometimes it just varies. This year it's a little bit different. We're going down different paths. We're doing actual tour dates now with my solo band and stuff. So sometimes they're going to be like 3 or 4 gigs squeezed in a week. But it's every year is different. Like this year, I think we're just approaching a new pattern this year, I guess you could say.
Tell me about your album Guitarcadia.
Well, it's a pretty raunchy guitar album for anybody that likes straight up heavy guitar music, but not necessarily just instrumental stuff. It's basically just like a straight up heavy guitar rock album. Mostly instrumental, but it's got a couple vocal tunes on there, and the follow up for that album is actually going to be mostly vocal. So it was just kind of a first effort out of the gate, trying to just get my name out there and get some songs out there and stuff.
And what will the follow up album be called?
Dancing Through Daggers.
Yeah, dancing through. That has
a lot heavier, more progressive sounding.
Awesome! I love the progressive.
Yeah.
Now, okay, Guitarcadia was mixed by C.J. Snare, the lead singer of the group Firehouse.
Correct. Yep.
And how is it working with him? And I remember the song "Don't Treat Me Bad."
Yeah.
And Love of a Lifetime.
Working with him has been amazing. He's incredible professional at what he does, and above everything else, he's a hell of a nice guy, and really has a good ear for all kinds of different music. The reason I think that he worked with me and we clicked together is because he hadn't done something that was like solely instrumental before. So it was something new for him too. So he actually really, I can't say anything. There's not a single criticism I even have of the way he mixed everything. I absolutely love the mix that he did, and how he brought the guitars forward and stuff, and how of course, him being a vocalist, he was very very conscious of the vocals, the vocal tunes as well. So there were just a lot of great things that he contributed to that to that album. That album is just as much his work as it is mine, in my opinion. But yeah, he's also doing the next album too, which I'm really happy for.
Oh, great, cool. Well, I want to play a song from Guitarcadia called "White Knuckle Driving."
Cool.
How did this one come about?
That was from an old progressive rock song I had.